Okay guys, so we'll see how this works first video, but basically I want to do a bit of revision on algebra and some of the key skills there. So remember, we call this entire thing of algebra, lots of things together, an expression. Okay, so that's an algebraic expression if you ever see that. And if you remember the different terms, so you remember each of these individually is a term, like 2x squared, 3x and 2 are each terms. Okay, but then in each term you have got what's called the coefficient. So that means that it is the number along with the letter. The letter itself is what's called a variable, okay? And the number by itself is called the constant, okay? So that's all them together. And just one other thing is the little 2 by itself is what's called an exponent. Okay, so just if you ever see any of those words, you will need to know what they are in a question. Okay, so moving on, when it comes to simplifying algebra, you need to simplify by adding what we call like terms. Okay, so that means only the same ones. So you can add 2a and 3a, and that will give you 5a. So imagine I had 2 apples and 3 apples, then I have 5 apples. But here in this next one, okay, you can't add these all together because even though you might say x squared and 6x and these are different. So this 5x squared minus 2x squared, they go together, and this 6x and minus 3x go together. So that means you do 5 minus 2, which gives you 3x squared, and 6 minus 3, which gives you plus 3x. Okay, and here's just another one down below a bit. Again, you can only add the same ones. So 4 minus 3 will give you 1x. You don't need the 1, but I'll just put it there. You need 3y plus 2y. So you add them together and you will get plus 5y. And then finally you have minus 2 minus 8, and that will give you minus 10. So remember, when you're adding and subtracting, you can only do ones with the same letter. Okay, moving on then, when it comes to multiplying terms, okay, when you've got a letter and a number multiplied together, like up here, it just becomes them together. 2a, simple as that. If you have 2 letters together, you simply put the letters together. So x multiplied by y just becomes xy. Okay, when it gets a bit more complicated with numbers and letters, you can multiply the numbers. So 3 by 2 is 6, by 4 is 24. So 24, and then your letters a and b, so it becomes 24ab. Okay, then moving on, if you have 2 of the same letter multiplying each other, okay, that actually doesn't become 2x, it becomes x squared. Okay, so it's like having xx, you've got 2 of them together. Okay, and then when you've got it like that, for this next one, you multiply the numbers. So remember, that will become 6, 2 by 3. Then y squared by y cubed. You can imagine it being yy times yy. How many y's do we have? It's 5. So y to the power of 5. Okay, so you essentially just do the 2 plus the 3 along the top. So that's just multiplying terms together. But then when it gets to larger things, you get on to these brackets. Okay, so remember, you multiply everything inside. So everything inside multiplied by what's outside. Okay, and you need to remember that because it's IDE. You need to remember it's everything inside. So let's take a look at this first one. You do 3 multiplied by x first, which gives you 3x, and then you also do 3 multiplied by 2, which gives you plus 6. Okay, you need to multiply everything. Same here. 4 multiplied by 2x, you're going to get 4 by 2 is 8, and the x as well. And then you also do 4 multiplied by, and keep an eye on this one carefully, it's 4 multiplied by minus 3. Don't forget that minus. So 4 multiplied by minus 3 will give you minus 12. So your answer is 8x minus 12. Okay, moving on to the lower down ones, we'll do what's on the outside, 2x multiplied by this x here. So remember, when 2 x's come together, you get 2x squared. Okay, and then you also do 2x multiplied by 4, which will give you 2 by 4 is 8, but it's 8x. Okay, so those are with 2 brackets, or 2 things inside the bracket. It's the exact same if you've got 3. So you multiply by the first one, you multiply the second one, and you multiply by the third one. Always the same. So 3y by y squared will give you 3y to the power of 3, because remember that's like 1y there and 2y's there, so it's 3y cubed, we call that. Then 3 multiplied by minus 2 will give you minus 6, and you've got 2 y's together, so you get y squared. Then you do 3 multiplied by plus 6, 3y multiplied by plus 6, sorry, so it becomes plus 18y. So it doesn't matter if you had 10 things in the bracket, but we're going out that way, it would still be the same. You just keep multiplying what's outside by what's inside. Okay, and the last thing for this video is multiplying two brackets together. So if you remember, we want to split up the first bracket, okay, because we want to multiply x by x plus 3, and then also multiply 2 by x plus 3. So we're going to split it up. So we put an x there and a plus 2 there. And then we're going to write this second bracket twice. So it becomes x plus 3 and x plus 3 in both places. Okay, so you split the first bracket. Okay, so split first, and then second twice. Okay, because you're multiplying everything in the first bracket by everything in the second bracket. So when we do this, we do our x by x and our x by 3. So x squared plus 3x in the first one. Then you multiply the second bracket, 2 by x and 2 by 3. So it becomes plus 2x plus 6. Okay, we're not just finished yet though, because you can see we have two like terms here. So we've got a 3x and a 2x, and if you remember from the start, they're the same, so they're going to become 5x. And just to finish off, it'll be x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay, now we'll do the same on our one over here. So we're going to split up the first bracket, so it becomes 2a, and then we'll put our minus 3 over here. So split the first bracket, and then remember, write the second bracket twice. So 4a plus 5, and the same here. Right, exact same method then that we use. We do 2a by 4a, and 2a by 5. So that's going to give us 8a squared. 8a squared, and then 2 by 5 is plus 10a. Right, and same thing with the second bracket. So minus 3 by 4. So this is where we need to be careful. You see this minus here? So everything's being multiplied by minus 3. So minus 3 times 4 is minus 12a. And then you also do minus 3 times 5. So minus 3 times 5 is just minus 15. Okay, and just to finish up then, we see that we've got a 10a and a 12a. So they're the same, and it becomes 8a squared. Then your 10a and your 12a will subtract from each other, and you'll get minus 2a minus 15. Okay, so I think that'll do us for this video. You can practice these and work away on them yourselves. I will figure out how to stop this recording.